Okay, let's talk about something we've pretty much all experienced, right? The IT ticket. Something breaks, maybe you need access to the system. You file that ticket, and then, well, you wait. It's
No.
been, the absolute cornerstone of IT service for decades. But what if that very system, the one designed to help, is actually holding us back? What if it's time to, fundamentally rethink this whole thing? So today we're going to dig into a pretty provocative argument. It's from a CIO article.
Hmm.
And it doesn't just suggest tweaking IT tickets. No, it's talking about completely rethinking them, moving beyond, decades of tradition towards something, well, something genuinely new. Agentic AI, prepared to maybe question everything you thought you knew about IT service.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive really is to unpack why these traditional IT tickets are now being framed as attacks on innovation, and then explore how this completely new proactive operating model, one driven by agentic AI, could fundamentally change enterprise IT. We're pulling our insights directly from Sean Hires' piece in CIO, July 7th, 2025. It's called "It's Time to Retire the Ticket, an IT Roadmap for Agentic AI."
Okay, so let's unpack that. I mean, for ages, IT tickets were essential, weren't they? They documented everything, got issues to the right team, handled escalations, measured the work. And yeah, sometimes they were just proof that, work was being done. They definitely played a big part.
Absolutely. But what's really insightful here, I think, is how the article reframes that role. It doesn't just call tickets a cost, it labels them a tax, which is a strong word. It implies this kind of insidious, often invisible drain on time, sure, but also on morale and critically on innovation. And maybe the organization doesn't even realize the full extent of that levy. The article basically calls them a relic, maybe even a workaround from a very human-centric workflow. And the argument is that just isn't suitable anymore for the speed, the complexity, the sheer scale of modern enterprise IT. Think about hybrid infrastructure, AI workloads popping up everywhere, and ever-increasing expectations for uptime. Just waiting for problems. Not good enough.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the friction they create is, well, it's tangible, isn't it? It's not just a feeling. They genuinely cost time. They slow down MTTR, that's mean time to resolution. They build up those queues we all hate. They burn out the staff doing the constant triage. Plus, there's all that manual work interpretation, enrichment, escalation before anyone even starts fixing that thing. So what's the deeper implication of all that friction?
Oh, that leads to the deeper issue, doesn't it? Which is that tickets reinforce a culture of reactivity. The gut reaction becomes, did you create a ticket?
Right.
Instead of asking, did we actually fix the root cause so this doesn't happen again?
Mm-hmm.
And the article really hammers home the opportunity cost. Every minute spent on a ticket, opening it, routing it, waiting, that's time lost. Time that could be spent solving actual problems or, advancing strategic business goals. There's a Forrester study mentioned, found productivity losses from IT delays can cost, get this, like $1.5 to $3 million per 1,000 employees annually. And most of that cost isn't even the fixing time, it's the waiting. So the article frames this very clearly. It's a process failure, not necessarily a technology failure.
That's a really important distinction because it shifts the focus, doesn't it? From just fix the tech to rethink how we work. It's almost like a cultural reset. So, okay, if we accept that tickets are this tax, what's the proposed new way? What's the new paradigm, according to the article?
Yeah, so the article proposes a fundamentally different operating model. It's about automatically resolving problems before users even notice them or before they escalate into, costly incidents. And just to be clear, it's not saying no tickets ever. That's probably unrealistic.
Right.
But it means tickets are no longer the first line of defense. They're not the default. In this new model, you've got AI agents, AI ops signals. Think of AI ops as AI for IT operations, predicting issues and intelligent automation becoming the default. Service desks don't vanish, they transform, they become these orchestration hubs. And this frees up the human agents. They can focus on higher value stuff, continuous improvement, governance, handling the really complex exceptions that automation just can't touch yet.
That sounds, well, frankly, amazing for anyone who's ever been stuck in a ticket queue.
Yeah.
But is this just like a theoretical future? Or is it actually happening? I saw Gartner's 2025 report mention AI agents will transform enterprise IT operations. It predicts autonomous systems handling over half of IT ops tasks by 2027. That's soon. It's
Yeah.
a huge shift.
It absolutely is, and it's happening. The article talks about reimagining the two main ways issues enter IT. First, the human front door users asking for help. That's evolving. Think intelligent virtual agents intercepting requests, automatically handling common things like access provisioning and learning over time. Then there's the machine backdoor, the signals from infrastructure, monitoring tools, observability, basically. That's becoming a closed loop. Monitoring tools spot anomalies, performance dips, and those detections automatically trigger auto-triage and self-healing workflows. No human needed for many routine issues.
And the article points to real examples, right? Leading companies in finance and telecom, they're already resolving routine incidents, service requests, without a human tech ever touching them. So what does this do to IT's mindset? What's the fundamental change there?
That's the core of it, really. It reframes how IT thinks about ownership, accountability, service delivery itself. It's a move from being reactive, waiting for the break-fix cycle, to
Hmm.
being proactive, enabling the business, getting ahead of problems instead of just chasing them constantly.
Okay, so the big shift in thinking, how do organizations actually do this? The article lays out a path, right, across people, process, platform,
Yeah.
a holistic approach.
Yeah, it breaks it down into 4 key steps. Pretty practical, actually. First, start with your most repetitive tickets. Makes sense, right? Find the top 5, maybe 10 ticket types by sheer volume. Often, something like 60 to 80% of tickets fall into just a few categories.
Like password resets?
Exactly. Password resets, system access requests, basic connectivity problems. Those are perfect candidates for automation, especially if the steps to fix them are already well documented and driven by policy. Second step, adopt Agentic AI that combines intelligence with action. This is a key differentiator.
Right, not just a chatbot.
Precisely. Traditional chatbots answer questions. Agentic AI interprets the context, makes decisions, and actually takes action. It blends understanding natural language with orchestration logic to figure out and run the right process. The goal is faster, more accurate resolution, ideally with little or no human input for those specific tasks. Third, integrate observability and automation. This is huge. So many places have great monitoring tools, but all those alerts just flood the ticket queue.
Yeah, alert fatigue.
Right. That's not really observability, it's just noise. You need to connect monitoring directly to orchestration platforms. So a known failure condition is detected. Boom, it automatically triggers the remediation workflow. Things like event correlation, impact analysis, checking thresholds that needs to happen before it hits a human queue. That's how you get self-healing. And number 4, finally, elevate human agents to engineers and strategists. The frontline team doesn't just disappear, their job changes, evolves dramatically.
So they're not just clicking through tickets anymore.
Exactly. They become process engineers, service designers. They define what good looks like. They build these reusable automation workflows. They ensure the automation is safe, secure, compliant. The article stresses this isn't about cutting headcount. It's about deflecting the routine work, reducing outages, and basically raising the capability of the whole IT org.
That's fascinating. A complete redefinition of that frontline role. It sounds like a big cultural shift in itself. And this isn't just about making IT's internal numbers look better, is it? The article talks about impact beyond, vanity metrics. Why is this stuff critical for the business today?
Oh, absolutely critical, because it hits the bottom line and strategic agility. The article highlights some really significant strategic outcomes. You're increasing coverage, shifting repeatable work from people to machines, lets your teams focus on actual innovation.
Right, the value add stuff.
Precisely. You're accelerating autonomous resolution, slashing that MTTR without needing humans for every step.
Yeah.
You minimize those queues because requests get handled before a person even sees them. Think about reclaiming all those lost productivity hours, people just waiting for tickets, triage, fixes.
That Forrester number comes back to mind.
Exactly. And it scales. You build automation workflows once, deploy them often. That creates compounding returns. It shortens the time to value for IT initiatives, leading to faster ROI, and maybe the biggest one, preventing incidents proactively before they disrupt the business. Ultimately, it boosts business uptime, which directly impacts SLAs, those service level agreements, and of course, customer and employee satisfaction.
So the big picture, the overarching goal, is really about aligning IT outcomes directly with tangible business impact, making automation into a strategic multiplier, not just a cost center fix.
That's absolutely the vision. And look, the article acknowledges this won't look the same everywhere. Some companies might start at the service desk end, automating user requests. Others might start with AI ops, automating infrastructure responses. The key, it seems, is to start where you can show impact quickly. Get some wins, then expand.
Okay, so for you listening, you're thinking about how to get started. The practical steps seem pretty clear based on the article. Pick 1 or 2 high-volume things, automate them fully. Then measure. Measure the time saved, how many tickets were deflected, user satisfaction, did it actually get better? Take those savings, those gains, and reinvest them. Improve another experience. Set up clear KPIs, key performance indicators. Track resolution speed, cost savings, first contact resolution, FCR, solving it the first time. And crucially, tell people about the wins. Evangelize internally to build momentum.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to remember this isn't an overnight flip of a switch. It's definitely a journey. But as the article argues pretty convincingly, it's a necessary one. The old playbook route, triage, assign, escalate, that was built for a different time. Modern businesses, the ones we support, they just can't afford to sit around waiting in queues anymore.
Wow. That really paints a picture of a potentially massive shift. We've really unpacked this revolutionary idea from the article, moving from reactive ticket-based IT to a proactive AI-driven automation model. Quite the transformation.
It really is. So maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener, to kind of mull over. Think about the core principles here: identifying repetitive processes, automating the resolution, elevating the human role. How might those ideas apply outside of IT? In your own work, maybe even in your personal life? What workarounds or taxes, those little frictions and delays do you currently put up with that could maybe be transformed by a more autonomous, proactive approach? Food for thought.